Into this broken vessel, you desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands, our hearts, and we offer up this praise into your name. Welcome, into His place. Welcome, Yahuwah. Welcome into this broken vessel. You desire to abide in the presence of your people. So we lift our hands, and we lift our hearts, and we offer up this praise. So we lift our hands, and we lift our hearts, as we offer up this praise unto your name. Sing, I love you more than anything. I love you. Yes, I do. More than anything, I love you. Yahweh, I give my life to you. We sing that one more time. I love you. More than anything, I love you. More than anything, I love you. I give my life to you. I praise you, I praise you. You're the Holy One, that's right. You're the Holy One, I praise. I praise you. You're the Holy One, I praise you. Yahweh, I give my life to you. Yahweh, I give my life, my mind, my soul. Yahweh, I give my life to you. Everything that I own, you can have it in your hand. Yahweh, I give my life to you. Yahweh, I give my life to you. Rejoice for the steps of the righteous man. They are ordered of God. They are ordered of God. Rejoice for the steps of the righteous man. They are ordered of God. In the time of trouble, God will preserve you. God will preserve you. God will preserve you. In the time of trouble, God will lift you up. So rejoice to get the order of God. Rejoice for the steps of the righteous man. They are ordered of God. They are ordered of God. Rejoice for the steps of the righteous man. They are ordered of God. In the time of trouble, God will hold For he has done so very much for me. He has taken all my sins, and he's poured his spirit. I love God who I Elohim. 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 This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. That God has made. That God has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice. And be glad in it. And be glad in it. This is Shabbat. That God has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. That God has made. This is Shabbat. This is Shabbat. That God has made. That God has made. I will rejoice. I will rejoice and be glad in it, and be glad in it. This is Shabbat that God has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it. Oh, this is Shabbat. This is Shabbat that God has made.
Oh, thank you.
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Yeah. Shabbat.
Where we at?
I believe today's reading will be the book of Proverbs, chapter 28. The wicked flee with no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as a lion. For the transgression of a land, many are the princes thereof. But by a man of understanding and knowledge, the state thereof shall be prolonged. A poor man that oppresseth the poor is like a sweeping rain which leaveth no food. They that forsake the law praise the wicked, but such as keep the law contend with them. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yahuwah understand all things. Better is the poor that walketh in his uprightness than he that is perverse in his ways, though he be rich. Whoso keepeth the law is a wise son, but he that is a companion of righteous men shameth his father. He that by usury and unjust gain increases his substance, he shall gather it from him that will pity the poor. He that turneth away his ear from hearing the law, even his prayer should be an abomination. Whoso causes the righteous to go astray in an evil way, he shall fall himself into his own pit. But the upright shall have good things in possession. The rich man is wise in his own conceit, but the poor that has understanding searches him out. When righteous men do rejoice, there is a great glory. But when the wicked rise, a man is hid. He that covers his sins shall not prosper, but whoso confesses and forsakes them shall have mercy. Happy is the man that feareth always, but he that hardeneth his heart shall fall into mischief. As a roaring lion and as a raging bear, so is a wicked ruler over the poor people. The prince that wandereth understanding is also a great oppressor, but he that hateth covetousness, okay, thank you, shall prolong his days. A man that doeth violence to the blood of any person shall flee to the pit. Let no man stay him. Whoso walketh uprightly shall be saved, but he that is perverse in his ways shall fall at once. He that tilleth his land shall have plenty of bread, but he that follows after vain persons shall have poverty enough. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. To have respect of persons is not good. For a piece of bread that man will transgress. He that hasteth to be rich has an evil eye, and considers not that poverty shall come upon him. He that rebuketh a man afterward shall find more favor than he that flatters with the tongue. Whoso robbeth his father or his mother and says, "It's no transgression," the same is a companion of a destroyer. He that is of a proud heart stirreth up strife, but he that putteth his trust in Yahuwah shall be made fat. He that trusteth in his own heart is a fool, but whoso walketh wisely, he shall be delivered. He that giveth unto the poor shall not lack, but he that hideth his eyes shall have many a curse. When the wicked rise, men hide themselves, but when they perish, the righteous increase. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Okay, I'm gonna have the classroom reading. Deuteronomy chapter 29, starting at verse 24. Even all nations shall say, "Wherefore hath Yahuwah done this unto this land? What meaneth the heat of this great anger?" Then the men shall say, "Because they have forsaken the covenant of Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, which he had made with them when he brought them forth out of the land of Mizraim. For they went and served other idols and worshipped them, idols whom they knew not, and whom he had not given unto them. And the anger of Yahuwah was kindled against this land, to bring upon it all the curses that are written in this book. And Yahuwah rooted them out of their land in anger, and in wrath, and in great indignation, and cast them into another land, as it is to this day. The secret things belong to Yahuwah our Elohim, but those things which are revealed belong unto us and to our children forever, that we may do the words of this law. And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessings and the curse which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither Yahuwah thy Elohim has driven thee, and shall return unto Yahuwah thy Elohim, and shall obey his voice according to all I command thee this day, thou and thy children, with all thy heart and with all thy soul, that then Yahuwah thy Elohim will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return to gather thee from all the nations where the Yahuwah thy Elohim has scattered thee. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. Oh. Hey, Baruch Shabbat, everyone. Glad to see you guys. Those of you that are here present, and those of you that are online, on YouTube. Okay. Get out of here. There was some stuff I forgot to say. I was supposed to say some stuff, forgot what I was going to say. So that means it must not have been important. Except for again, hallelujah. All right, y'all. So we're gonna do this lesson here. I think I did this lesson a couple of years ago. Very important lesson though. It's called "Why Can't the World Hear or See YAH?" Why can't the world hear or see YAH? Pretty interesting title, right? Mm-hmm. So we're gonna get right to it, and we're gonna start this out in Amos, the 2nd chapter. The lesson I did, was it last week or the week before last? I can't remember. We touched on Daniel, the 9th chapter, right?
Chapter 2.
Huh? Yeah, we in
Amos chapter
Amos 2, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about how we had touched on Daniel, the 9th chapter, and we was talking about, reading about how Yahshua came to confirm the covenant with many for 1 week, but he already did half of the week, and he still got 3.5 years to go. So just on that understanding that Daniel's 9th chapter, we're still in a suspended state right now. In a suspended state of him confirming that covenant, because he was cut off in the middle of the week. So when he was cut off in the middle of the week, that means he still got the second half to confirm that covenant. So basically, this is about this time of suspension that we're in. So in Amos, the 2nd chapter, one moment. I think I'm going to have you start at the top. Amos 2. No, I'm not going to have you start at the top. Oh, you know what? Let's do Amos 3. And there you can start at the top.
Hear this word that Yahuwah has spoken against you, O children of Yasharel, against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Mizraim, saying, you only have I known of all the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for all your iniquities.
Now, this relationship that the Father had with the nation of Israel, and that's kind of what we're going to be dealing with in this lesson, because the Father testing one. I got that portion, man.
Somebody lost their job.
I was just saying, look, I said you gotta be like Beyonce. Somebody getting fired. Get the cat to the
Somebody is getting fired. Somebody is getting Shabbat. You don't have no money.
Hey, I wanted to tell y'all, since that's happening, I have a friend who was a Christian friend who has turned. Who has turned to yes. This happened yesterday, and I'm hoping one day that she'll come here. But she's at the point where we actually had a Bible study together. She finally showed up, and she is finally. It's been years coming that she started waking up, but she was fighting the pork thing, fighting all this. We went through all the scriptures about the Torah and the law and the commandments and everything. And she's like, I see it totally different now. She sees that she saw all through Paul because see, all her stuff was from Paul. She didn't know that Paul wrote all these letters. You know, I said, let's get another witness. Let's start looking at all the other ones.
There you go.
Yeah, we started looking at all of
There
that.
you go.
She's like, I see everything differently. Y'all woke her up. I was so happy. So, I've never had that happen. So, yeah, you're just like.
That's crazy, but it's like the real thing is you got to kind of take Paul away from people in order to see truth.
It really helped after having those studies, you know, to really have that knowledge that he contradicts himself. So I said, let's just not throw him away, but let's just not, he's contradicting, so let's not put our weight here.
I tell you, the simplest way to do that, though, not only about the witnesses having more than one witness, but say, if Paul say this, can we find out where Yeshua said the same thing Paul said?
That's right.
That's like the easiest way.
Yeah, we went there too. We started looking at everything
you can't get
he
no
said.
easier than that.
Yeah.
Just because somebody say, Lord, Lord, like he said, Lord, Lord, hey, that don't mean they represent me.
But I think until he truly woke her up there was years where she still was just thought I was a little crazy. And she was, but I could see she was moving towards this. But she was listening to a lot of Christian dispensational stuff, and she would talk to me. She's like, "We got to get together and talk about it." And then she would kind of argue about the pork thing with me a little bit. And she said, "Well, I'm glad." She said, "I didn't push her," and she said that helped, not pushing her or being mean to her. So if that's any help, I was so excited.
And I forgot that I'm live too, so I know people that heard me and they don't know how to take what I'm saying. But we have a whole lesson on this about the Apostle Paul, but the Apostle of what? If you don't know, that could be a very offensive thing to hear.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is, it's all about truth. The thing that people quote to justify not being obedient to the law, you know, they pull it out of Paul's letters. So I'm like, if you pull this out of Paul's letters about works of the law and all this stuff, all you gotta do is show me where Yeshua said the exact same thing Paul says. Because if they don't say the exact same thing, then that means that, or that might be, as IOG like to quote, another Jesus that he's talking about. If someone come to you preach, and that verse is real funny because they don't even understand what that verse is saying. Because when he said, if anyone comes besides what we preach, the we is not James, John, and Peter. But you just assume that that's who the we is. No, he talked about the we being my church, and my ministry. My apostleship, that's the we, not the three pillars. They're not the we. So see, that's deep when you really look at that verse. If somebody comes from, so I mean, it's just as simple as that. Okay, you gonna quote me? Paul said this. Show me what Yeshua said. The exact same thing. That's all you gotta do. Huh? Right. Exactly. I mean, see, I'm saying. That the 2 or 3 more witnesses that might be a little bit more difficult because people don't really understand the dynamic of 2 or 3 more witnesses. But if you claim Christ, then that's what makes it more simple.
Yeah, well, I think she really didn't understand who wrote these books,
right?
And that all of this stuff she's relying on and only reading was just Paul. I said, well, then Paul is your God.
That's
you know,
correct. That is correct.
And we need to really watch out for that.
Right.
And she just got it. It's like she was getting it. I'm like. Oh my gosh, I was so happy.
Right. Hallelujah. Man, that's a testimony. Hallelujah.
Yeah. I've never had that happen. Usually people won't even sit long enough to hear you, you know?
Hey, with Peter Will, we look forward to seeing her. Peter Will. But that is a victory, nevertheless.
It is.
Okay. So did we read this
Never had that
famous
happen.
already?
This is first two verses.
Right. So he's just saying, you only about known of all the families, which I brought up. Oh, all the families I've known of the families of the earth. Therefore, I will punish you for your iniquity. Okay. I'm going to read later where the Father did not make any substitution for the nation of Israel. And so because understand the relationship that the Father had with the nation, and because he had not substituted Israel with some organization, some church or whatever, then that means that the whole world is void of YAH. Yeah, yep, it was.
And it's still on.
You good. You still touching stuff.
Doing my job, man.
Huh?
Doing my job. What's going on?
He must have heard my song earlier. Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter. Boy, you're going to get me out of myself up here. No. That's right, Deuteronomy, the 31st chapter. I'm trying for this not to be a lesson about Israel because come February, you know, we usually take February to deal with Israel, right? Guess what? It's going to be February and March. And I got so much stuff that I have to do. And that's fair, right? Because most of my lessons don't deal with Israel. So we have a set appointed time for the year to focus on Israel. You go to some Hebrew camps, man, and you think Deuteronomy 28 chapter is on.
The only thing they know.
Man, I can't stand Hebrew Israelites, man. If I let my mind just dwell on Hebrew Israelites, man, it's a horrible thing. It really is. But anyway, but that's the thing, though, because dealing with teaching about Israel, we get beat up. It's a horrible thing. It's going to be horrible come February, March. So let you all know. Ooh, it's a horrible thing. Anyway, and this is horrible too, to be honest with you. But I got to read it because people, see, that's why we have atheists, that's why we have non-believers, because they're not able to make that connection. Only the elect can really see the Father at work. But for those people that don't know the Father, they really cannot see it. They think that everything is just a natural occurrence. All the stuff that's going on in the world today is just the way it is. It's really bad right now. But they don't know why things are happening the way they are. Anyway, in Deuteronomy 31st chapter, start this off at verse 15.
And Yahuwah appeared unto the tabernacle in a pillar of a cloud. And the pillar of the cloud stood over the door of the tabernacle. And Yahuwah said unto Shemaiah, Behold, thou shalt sleep with thy fathers, and this people will rise up and go a-whoring after the idols of the strangers of the land. Whether they go to be among them and will forsake me and break my covenant which I have made with them.
No, on another note, that's Jesus, y'all. They're going to rise up and go a-whoring after the gods of the strangers of the land. That right there, put Jesus right there. Because that's what we're talking about. We whore after him more than we whore after any other idol. But that idol is definitely an idol of the strangers of the lands that we have been placed into. Go ahead.
What does that mean?
Whether they go to be among them,
17.
or middle 16, end of 16.
If you forsake me, and I will break my covenant which I have made with them.
Uh,
Then my anger shall be kindled against them in that day, and I will forsake them, and I will hide my face from them, and they shall be devoured, and many evils and troubles shall befall them, so that they will say in that day, are not these evils come upon us, because our Elohim is not among us? And I will surely hide my face in that day for all the evils which they shall have brought, in that they are turned into other idols.
Other idols, there go that Jesus again. You can't get around that. You cannot get around that. It's impossible to get around that. You can't explain that away. But the point that I'm reading this is to understand that when the Father had turned his face from Israel, he had turned his face from the whole world, the whole creation, which is why things are going the way that they're going. And we're going to read some of the things that are going on in the world with the absence of the Father. So the world can't see nor hear him because they don't know him. Those of us that know him can understand why things are happening the way that they are. The next chapter, Deuteronomy, the 32nd chapter, and pick that up at the 15th verse.
But Yeshurun fights fat and kick. Thou art white and fat, thou art grown thick, thou art covered with fatness. Then he forsook Elohim, which made him, and lightly esteemed the rock of his salvation.
Hold on, where we at?
32nd chapter of Deuteronomy, the 16th verse.
Oh, okay.
They provoked him to jealousy with strange idols, and with abominations provoked they him to anger. They sacrificed unto devils, not to Elohim, to idols whom they knew not,
Jesus.
to new idols that came newly up,
Jesus.
whom your fathers feared not.
Jesus.
Jesus, come on.
Of the rock that begat thee, thou art unmindful, and hast forgotten Elohim that formed thee.
Solely forgotten the Father. Go ahead.
And when Yahuwah saw it, he abhorred them. He abhorred them because of the provoking of his sons and of his daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. I will see what their end shall be.
That's right. That's what he's doing. He had hid his face of Israel, and he just sent back, looking to see what our end shall be. Go ahead.
For they are very froward generation, children in whom is no faith. They have moved me to jealousy with that which is not Elohim. They have provoked me to anger with their vanities, and I will move them to jealousy with those who are not a people. I will provoke them to anger with a foolish nation.
Because historically, at this particular time, the Gentiles were considered not a people. We didn't know anything about Japhetic people. We didn't have no interaction with them, nothing. But Paul, he actually quotes this in Romans, the 10th chapter concerning that. And he's talking to the Romans. Okay, so again, people don't understand the definition of the term Gentile, but Gentiles are a specific people here. But go ahead, verse 22.
For a fire is kindled in my anger. I shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountain.
Oh, let me look at that for a minute. For a fire is kindled in my anger, right? And shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase. Wow. How about that, y'all? We're going to read other passages that say pretty much the same thing. But he said, because of my absence of the chosen people, he shall consume the earth with her increase. Go ahead.
And set on her fire the foundations of the mountain.
Okay.
I will heap mischief upon them, I will spend my arrows upon them.
And again, understanding this, it ain't no fault that the Gentiles and Hamites and Shem and everybody else should be. I wonder if they're mad at us because they understand this truth when you really think about it. Huh?
Remember, say that again?
Remember that show? What's that? Them? Is that the name of it? Them?
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
But wait a minute. When they showed that episode when they burnt their eyes out and it was like they were doing exactly what I'm saying right here.
Right.
Like y'all the chosen people, but y'all messed up. And scripture says that we got to do all this stuff to y'all. So the whole earth is messed up because we failed to do what we were supposed to do. And not a father sent this whole entire curse of the whole entire earth. Why? Because of our lack of lack of obedience. Go ahead. Uh-huh.
They shall be burnt with hunger and devoured with burning heat and with bitter destruction. I will also send the teeth of the beast upon them, with the poison of serpents of the dust. The sword without and terror within shall destroy both the young man and the virgin. The second also with the man of gray hairs. I said, I will scatter them into corners. I will make the remembrance of them deceased from among me.
So, okay, look at that one. This was the intent of the Confederacy. But the Confederacy could not have done anything unless the Father allowed the Confederacy to do it. Because they vowed that I'm going to make them be no more people, right? So, and the reason why it wasn't just against the people, but it was against Yah himself. Because when you take the people out, you take Yah out. Huh? You take the people out, you take Yah out. Okay? Huh? That's right. So all the other nations have no way of knowing anything about the Creator, about His ways, about the commandments, about any of that, especially when it's been substituted by other religions that use the heritage of Israel and creating their own religions, worshiping their own idols.
They all did that because we were all scattered among them, and that's what they did know about us.
Right.
They knew enough to get to
Oh yeah.
use enough to try to trick us into
Right. Right. Exactly. To further the right. Okay. But he said, you read 26 already, right? Yeah, he said, I will scatter them into corners. I would make remembrance of them to cease from among men. When you scatter them and the people don't know who they are and take on other identities and everything like that, then who you are has been forgotten. Ain't that something? 27.
Where not that I fear the wrath of the enemy, lest their adversaries should behave themselves strangely, and lest they should say, our hand is high, and Yahuwah has not done all this. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither are there any understanding in them. Oh, that they were wise, that they understood this, that they would consider their latter end. How should one chase 1,000 and two put 10,000 in flight, except their rock has sold them, and Yahuwah has shut them up?
So again, just like when we read the time when we had a very intimate relationship with the Most High, and at this time, all of the other nations knew about this relationship that Israel had with Yah. They were familiar with it. That's why they either complied or they was disobedient or whatever they did. They could not deny that these people here serve the true and living Elohim. But now that has been taken away. But those of us that know this stuff, we're able to see the reality of YAH through the other side, if that makes sense. Huh? We're able to see the reality of YAH being on the other side of this,
Right.
where we knew him being on the other side of this, if that makes sense.
We're knowing him now under the curse side.
Right, we're on the curse side, right. But the only thing about being on the curse side is that the other nations as a whole have no idea who YAH is as a whole. But back then, the nations did know who YAH is, because they just waited and were like, hey, we're going to get them one way or another. We taking them out, because this dynamic that they have with the creator of the whole earth, man, that should have been us. We were a nation before they was even a nation. We were doing this as well as before they were doing, all type of thoughts like that. But right now, the Father is sitting back and he's seeing what our ends shall be. But as a result, the whole earth is going through a curse right now. All right. Jeremiah the 7th chapter. If the whole world knew of y'all right now, man, there wouldn't be no Sunday dynamic that we see today. There wouldn't be no Easter, Christmas. There wouldn't be a break of the diet, the sanctified diet.
Most of the sicknesses.
But see, he let us know also that when the new covenant takes place, the whole world is gonna know YAH. See? And that lets you know why we're not in the new covenant, because the world just do not know YAH. See, it all fits together when you understand really what's going on. What I say, Jeremiah 7th chapter?
The 7th or 2nd?
7. Did you say second?
Yeah.
Come on. Cynthia,
Yeah.
I'm from where you from. We speak the same. Cynthia say, no, we don't. Cynthia say, I'm from the suburbs.
I'm from the South Side.
Jeremiah 7th chapter, and pick this up at verse 13.
And now, because ye have done all these works, said Yahuwah, and I spake unto you, rising up early and speaking, but ye heard not. And I called you, but ye answered not. Therefore will I do unto this house, which is called by my name, when ye trust, and unto the place which I gave you and to your fathers, as I have done some in Shalom. And I will cast you out of my sight. I will cast you out of my sight, as I have cast out all your brethren, even the whole seed of Ephraim. Therefore pray not thou for this people, neither lift up cry nor prayer for them, neither make intercession to me, for I will not hear thee.
Ooh, come on, y'all.
Yeah.
Father mean what he say. And you read that in the Proverbs earlier, right? About the prayers of the sinner, something like that. He ain't playing when it comes down to that. Go ahead.
Seest thou not what they do in the cities of Yahudah and in the streets of
What
Jerusalem?
do they do? Tell me.
The children gather wood, and the fathers kindle the fire, and the women knead their dough to make cakes to the Queen of Heaven, and to pour out drink offerings unto other idols, that they may provoke me to anger.
And now, right now, what do you have now? You have millions of people right now. Huh? What?
Yeah.
They're doing that, and you see churches that say Queen of Heaven.
That's right.
I'm shocked when I
That's
see
right.
that.
That's
I'm
right.
like, it's telling you who it is.
That's
there,
right.
But they don't read this.
That's right. That's right. That's right. That's why they don't know YAH. That's the point. This is the absence of YAH right here. And guess what? It said that's what we did. We did. The covenant people. Or another lesson I got coming up in that series, my people. My people done this. Huh? Man, go ahead. Pour out drink on to other Elohim that they may provoke me to anger. Go ahead.
Do they provoke me to anger?
That's the question.
Said Yahuwah. Do they not provoke themselves to the confusion of their own faces? Therefore, thus said Yahuwah Elohim, behold, my anger and my fury shall be poured upon this place, upon man, and upon beast, and upon the trees of the field, and upon the fruit of the ground, and it shall burn, and shall not be quenched.
And that 19th verse is that do they provoke me to anger? That's that father and child relationship. Taught your son.
Like you did something wrong. You mad at me for punishing you?
Well, yeah, well, no. How about this? Even deeper than that is that I teach my daughters to do X, Y, and Z, but they live in their life doing contrary to what I say. And I'm like, okay, so you're gonna be this, whatever it is that you think you're falling, to provoke me to anger.
Right.
But then when it falls flat in your face, it's to your confusion.
Right.
It ain't really to my anger. Well, just like the father said he's gonna be angry, so I'm gonna be angry. But the point is that you thinking you making me angry, but you the one gonna suffer consequences.
Yeah,
Right. Verse 21.
Thus said Yahuwah of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharel, put your burnt offerings unto your sacrifices, and eat flesh. For I spake not unto your fathers, nor commanded them in the day that I brought them out of the land of Israel, concerning burnt offerings or sacrifices. But this thing I commanded them, saying, obey my voice, and I will be your Elohim, and ye shall be my people, and walk ye in all the ways that I have commanded you, that it may be well unto you.
That's the only way it can be well, by being obedient. But we wanted to be everything but obedient, but we still want to wear that chosen people title on our sleeves.
Well, what I saw this right here is that in their disobedience, they brought sacrifices to the Father.
Yeah.
He didn't require a sacrifice.
Right, that's right.
But they did it because the other nations were doing it. So basically, they're still doing it in their heathen ways,
Right.
trying to serve Yah,
Right.
when He don't even require a sacrifice.
Right, true that.
He requires obedience.
True that. True that. True that. Hallelujah. Very good. Go ahead.
But they hearkened not, nor inclined their ear, but walked in the counsels and in the imaginations of their evil heart, and went backward and not forward.
Right. And so kind of like to double down on what he just said, pretty much repeating what he just said, basically, we thought that the sacrifices is what made us righteous. Because even when we understand the whole ordinance of the Day of Atonement, there's something to that in regarding these two lambs taking away our sins. But as, like he said in the book of Hebrews, it did not lead to our conscious understanding the dynamic. We didn't have no consciousness of the fact that this animal has your sin, but now you should be ashamed of that, but you don't have no shame. You use it as the same way, I guess, Catholics, like the gangsters or whatever, when they go to the priest and be absolved from their sins, and they thinking of what they're about to do before they even walk out of the booth or whatever. Yeah, that's right. Or even when we, pay, when we give offerings or whatever. Right. Yeah.
That's not a mission for your sin.
Huh?
That's
Not at all. Not at all. But see, the thing is that whole dynamic is that somehow it's just, we got it twisted. I don't know why other nations do it, but we got it twisted. Because I can understand in the Catholicism and everything, well, God ain't really real anyway, but God is represented by these men, and if I can make these men feel good, pleasing the men, then me and God is cool.
Yeah, because He's a man of God.
That's absolutely. If I could make the bishop or the priest or whatever, I get on his good side, then I'm on the Father's good side.
That's right.
But that's how we function in that exact same way. Only difference between us and them is that we literally have an intimate relationship with the Most High, though. He was some figment of our imagination, or just some, whatever. We go ahead. Where we at? Okay.
Since the day that your fathers came forth out of the land of Mizraim, until this day I have even sent unto you all my servants, the prophets, daily rising up early and sending them. Yet they hearkened not unto me, nor inclined their ear, but hardened their neck. They did worse than their fathers. Therefore thou shalt speak all these words unto them, but they will not hearken unto thee. Thou shalt also call unto them, but they will not answer thee.
Sad dynamic, y'all. Very sad, okay? Move right along. Let's go on to 2 Kings 17 chapter. Just to read a little bit about how the Father did what he said he was gonna do with Israel. Second Kings 17 chapter. And I'm not gonna read all of this. Pick this up at the 7th verse.
For so it was that the children of Yasharel had sinned against Yahuwah their Elohim, which had brought them up out of the land of Mizraim from under the hand of Pharaoh, king of Mizraim, and had feared other idols, and walked in the statutes of the heathen, whom Yahuwah cast out from before the children of Yasharel, and the kings of Yasharel which they had made. And the children of Yasharel did secretly those things that were not right against Yahuwah their Elohim. And they built them high places in all their cities, from the tower of the watchman to the fifth city. And they set them up images and groves in every high hill and under every green tree. And there they burned incense in all the high places, as did the heathen whom Yahuwah carried away before them, and brought wicked things to provoke Yahuwah to anger.
And here's the sad thing is that if you go to Israel right now, you can still see these places they call the high places where we absolutely worship and sacrifice unto these deities from antiquity. Go ahead, verse 12.
For they served idols, whereof Yahuwah had said unto them, ye shall not do this thing. Yet Yahuwah testified against Yasharel and against Yahuwah by all the prophets and by all the seers, saying, turn thee from your evil ways, and keep my commandments and my statutes, according to all the laws which I commanded your fathers, and which I sent to you by my servants the prophets. Notwithstanding they would not hear, but hardened their necks, like to the neck of their fathers, that did not believe in Yahuwah their Elohim, and they rejected his statutes and his covenant that he had made with their fathers, and his testimonies which he testified against them, and they followed vanity and became vain, and went after the heathen that were round about them, concerning whom Yahuwah had charged them, that they should not do like them. And they left all the commandments of Yahuwah their Elohim.
You say some, y'all, not some. Not some. Wow. Man, it's just weird. And us reading this, man, we're reading this on a whole different level than other people that might read this in the past some sort of way and be like, wow. Well, I'm glad that we ain't got to do these commandments and stuff that they had to do. It's like, that's just a crazy mentality that people have when they read this. It's hard for me to read this and not have respect for the law reading this. And I'm sure it's the same thing for y'all too. But if somebody else will read the same thing and have a whole different take on it.
in the times of antiquity, is it the reason why and this is just a question I have, could it be that the reason why they didn't want to keep the commandments because the other nations didn't really have laws, so they were just able to do whatever they want, and so that was what something that Israel wanted to be like them, like just do whatever you want.
Like a free reign type of deal.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
I can see that in plus, well, all the deities are all concerned in pleasurable things, pleasurable spirituality.
For their
physical
physical
is all physical
Absolutely.
beings. So
We see that
we-
now.
yeah, we might
Yeah.
see it a little
Absolutely.
constricted though.
I say probably half of us did not like the whole idea that, I can't do Christmas no more.
Oh, here's the thing about
Beautiful as that whole
Yeah. But I was just wondering what,
uh,
and I get that for this modern time, I get it because we so indoctrinated in it as a child, you don't know anything about this. But I'm talking about the times of antiquity, they did see that and they saw it. Was it
let me
because
ask you this question. And I don't mean to offend nobody. I don't know what anybody's political thing is. Okay. But, and maybe I'm just saying this from a lack of understanding, could be. Well, I never could figure out how you got Hillary Clinton running for president and this vulgar man she's running against saying that, oh, I grabbed him by the. And all the women put this man in office. He didn't say that after he became president. So like everything they been saying out of his mouth was like, yeah, I'm just playing with y'all. I ain't really running for president. I'm just up here trying to see what I can do. But I grab him by the blood. Women. So I'm just saying that to say is that to give you an understanding of the mindset that just is like, this is righteousness, but this is wickedness, but it's funny. I guess it's funny.
like you said, it's pleasurable to your body.
Huh?
It's lustful.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm just saying, no, it's just women didn't choose to be offended.
True.
Why did women not choose to be offended by that? I will forever be mystified by that.
Right.
I could have loved Trump all day long, and by that one statement, that would have.
As a woman, you would think that they would have ran.
But and then at the same time, what else did he say? He said that I could shoot somebody right here in Times Square right here, and I would not be whatever. And he was absolutely correct. And this is stuff he's saying before he became president, not after he became.
I think he was saying those things to reveal what they were doing for real. Because he told everything that was going on behind the scenes with Congress and the government and stuff like
Yeah.
that. So you were just saying that. I feel like he was saying that to say, hey, I can do whatever I want to do.
Right.
Because I got money and I can
Right.
do this.
Which
that,
is
and the third.
Which is what I said about antiquity. They feel like they can just do whatever. And so Israel kind of wanted to mimic that. They wanted to have that.
Right. Absolutely. It's just, I don't know. All I can say with us is just that Satan had his way.
Yeah.
Satan just had his way. Satan knew exactly, and I'm doubling down on my understanding of Genesis 3rd chapter that some of y'all didn't agree with. He had his way with that woman, and she like, hey, I done ate of it, so let me go and give my man some of this.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, let me give my man this thing, The man trusted on whatever that woman gave him, and when he said, hey, this is the woman you gave me, he was, I always thought of that different, but when I read it again, I'm like, whoa.
Well, I kind of agree with you because I always said that since that time, Yah has always said, he that finds a wife finds a good thing. He ain't making it wrong.
But Adam would not have been consciously deceived into eating that from that tree. Right. But that's right. Paul says that. He has to make that statement, right? But so the point that I'm making is that Satan, his greatest power that he had is deception. That's his power.
That's it.
That is his greatest power, man. Deception. No zapping people, no all this other stuff. No. You know, when he talked to Yahshua and brought him up to the mountain, everything was about a deception, i.e. temptation. As a nation, we failed that test. We failed the test. Yahshua could have failed the test. He could have failed the test. That was not no easy test for Yahshua. Some people believe it was, but it wasn't. Or it would not have been a temptation. Huh?
Right.
Temptation by definition means that, oh man, I really want this.
Yeah.
Sometimes you desire
Something that you desire, but you're not supposed to have it.
at that time.
Yeah. Yahshua told his disciples, you have been with me through many of my temptations. Can't be no temptations if you didn't have a form of desire for it.
Right.
So again, as a people, Satan knew just what to do to make us think in the way that we were thinking, even though we had the Father intimately, man, and other nations, literally, that's why I said Christmas, because other nations made all type of idolatry look so good. It looked good. It sounds
Innocent for the kids. It's
Huh?
just, it seems like it's so good for the
Yeah.
kids.
right.
For the kids. That's
Yeah,
what
I
it
was
is.
talking with
For the
somebody. I was like,
kids. I used to love Christmas.
if
I
you
hate
know it's paganism, if you know you're not supposed to do it, why are you doing it anyway? Oh, it's for my grandkids. I'm just doing it for them. Like, but we can teach them another way instead of showing them.
lies.
I mean, I literally grew up at a time where I really didn't expect the average person to have ever read Jeremiah the 10th chapter.
Right.
Right now, we're talking about people that literally know Jeremiah 10th chapter now, and it don't phase them not one iota. You say that? You know what Jeremiah? Oh man, I know what it says. Now I said the book, man, but do that say Christmas tree though?
Right.
All right.
Huh?
Make it plain, yeah.
I said, all right. You confess out your mouth that you know the scripture, so whenever you face the
Right.
Father,
Right.
there's no excuse.
Right. But hey, what my parents did, what my parents before me did,
Or no, I didn't have this, so I'll do this for my kid because I didn't have it. That's the
no,
way.
you ain't gonna find that, right? I was gonna say that. You say, who didn't have it?
People say that.
Okay, that's
I
a
didn't
rarity
have
right there.
I ain't having like that.
That's a
No,
rarity.
I want
Stuff
to
I
give
didn't
my
have.
kids what I didn't have. I want to give them a good Christmas.
That's probably what Jackson. That's probably what Jackson said. That's probably what Michael Jackson said.
I think a lot of people don't want their kids to feel left out with the other kids. I've
Right.
noticed that, oh, I want to get them all these presents and stuff. And I probably did that with my own kids. And now I'm looking at it as, that's not good. It's
Yeah.
not good to be having all these things and,
Yeah,
and you go in debt and you do all this stuff. And then it's just, it
yeah,
actually hurts them in the long run.
yeah.
And then it takes us to get older to.
So that kind of helped answer your question. We've allowed other influences to influence our lives and reject the Father at the same time.
It's hard to stand up to not do Christmas, I think, because I find myself not wanting to tell people sometimes because
Right.
everybody's like, it's
Right?
just everywhere in your face, everywhere I go. And then like some people, they know when I'm good at it.
Right.
I'm finding I'm struggling and
But
just
you know what
saying,
though?
well, I don't do Christmas.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. It gets easier.
It sure does.
It
I got
easier.
one. I say all the time. I'm not going
Every year it gets easier and easier and
I
easier.
think sometimes I just don't
Almost to
want to
the
deal with
almost to the point when you're knocking on people's doors. Oh, it gets
And then
easier.
sometimes I would
Believe
say,
Telling this
bye humbug,
it.
Man.
with a smile on my face. Bye
We're like,
humbug.
Y'all seen that sign I did on my Facebook? I did that a few years ago. You remember the sign? Are you a heathen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeremiah 10 chapter. And they had the Christmas tree in the middle. That's all it said. Are you a heathen? Christmas tree, Jeremiah 10 chapter.
Right.
Yeah.
I let them know that off the top.
Right.
I And I think it's therapy. There's one lady.
Don't be hating on my art, bro.
Tell them what you love.
Oh, okay.
But you know, I just wanted the same thing when she was just talking about it. Just one thing that just really stuck to me is when I think about Lot and his wife. Even when we had the angels to take them out, and we had the destruction, that she still was looking back.
Yeah.
And you would, yeah.
You would think
Now you know what
think
she
all
right
that.
there though. See, here's the thing though, and that's the thing. That's the thing. See, you touched on something there. Because what happened is that we established our own form of righteousness.
Right.
You know? Like, I can imagine this woman, I always use her as an example, and her getting her hair done by this sodomite hairdresser, you know, and then here come Lot coming to pick his wife up. So, look, don't, you know, he's Archie Bunker, if you know what I'm saying. Okay, just ignore my husband, okay, because he's somewhere else, you know, because he gonna come in.
Or maybe she could have been like Edith.
But that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
My level of righteousness is that I'm not that everybody has the right to be what they want to be.
Right.
And do what they want to do. But my husband, you know, he's judgmental. He's not gonna like that. So just huh?
He goes by the book.
He goes by something, you know. He goes by something, right? But I'm glad you said that, because that's exactly what it is. Because right now we're living in that time right now. That time right now where you know, just try to, you know, without being offensive, but they're gonna be offensive if you say anything contrary to what they doing, you know. Like there's this video where this person is in the store and just look totally ridiculous. Ma'am.
Yes.
Huh? Address me as ma'am. And I mean with like irate about it.
Ma'am. 6'2". I'm like a linebacker, like she said. Wow. He like, I'm a ma'am. I'm like, oh God.
The whole world fell apart. And what that showed me is that this person was just not, no, that's what it is. They spent a lot of their life used to people like, you know, but they take that one person and be like, oh, I will never call you no man. And their whole world, that's what you could tell, that's what it was. They had never had nobody tell them the truth before like that.
Like, I am not going to be a partaker of your delusion.
Go to delusion, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, we call them you, or no, but they want to be called they.
Right.
They, that's a team. That's
Is that what he said?
one person. They, that's
Yeah.
more. It's supposed to be a one spirit, not that.
Be like you and all them that live in there. I got time to
Wow. What was that? You remember?
18.
18? Okay.
Therefore, Yahuwah,
Hey, read that 17 again.
and they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire.
Oh, we did? Okay, yeah.
Right. And they left all the commandments of Yahuwah their Elohim and made them molten images, even 2 calves, and made a grove, and worshiped all the hosts of heaven and served Baal. And they caused their sons and their daughters to pass through the fire and use divination and enchantment.
Yeah, so that's key right there, y'all. Divinations and enchantments. You know, just like when Shemaiah was in Mizraim, and he did certain things in the signs, and then them priests of Rod turned around and did the same thing. Enchantments, man. Divinations. That's part of the deception right there.
What are enchantments?
Huh?
What are enchantments?
Enchantments is something that you're enchanted by, like David Copperfield or them dudes come on the scene and
Or even those chants that they do. all the crystals, the mantras.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All
But
that.
again, Satan was literally able to do certain
He
things
was.
in their eyesight that, I mean, like I use Christmas as enchanting.
Yes, it
Yes,
is.
it is.
It is.
They call it magical.
Right.
Spirit getting your head that you
Everything
Yeah.
is, they say, they use that.
Yeah,
Everything is
It's so
magic.
magical.
right.
You know, if you look up
Spirit.
Saint Nick, I saw the thing, it said, and you look it up,
Oh, yeah,
it
Saint
says the chief spirit of evil. So
Wow.
it is the opposite spirit of what we're supposed to
Right,
do.
absolutely.
The whole thing. So it is
Absolutely.
enchanting. It's enchanting.
Absolutely. And see, the funny thing about that is just like, we collectively, people don't, they don't research the origin
Right.
of those things.
Right.
And see, what made me think about that is that, I happen to, and not on the wicked dynamic, and it might be, I hope not though. We were sitting in a restaurant, they had this, the film, The Wicked of Oz, The Wizard of Oz.
Wicked of Oz, right?
Right. But I kind of, you know, I guess in my thing about films, I kind of like enjoyed the film for what it was.
Right.
But certain part of the film, there were enchantments to it. Like I sit back, I talk about the whole thing about how they filmed the beginning of it in black and white, but when that house lands after the thing, and she opens the door, and then that color, that's enchanting. And I be thinking, man, what the people thought about in 1939 when they did that? You know, it was like, wow. But the point is that certain aspects of the movie is, no, this is what I was going with. What I was going with is that we know the movie, but then if you actually read the original Frank Baum thing,
It was a horrible.
it's a horror flick.
Yeah, it is.
It's not, yeah, it's not
It's
as
not a
nice
kid.
and pretty as
He lived in
Dorothy
upstate
Garland
We have a
and
lot.
all of them. The way that we see it, it is a very, very, very wicked dynamic to the origin. Same thing with nursery rhymes.
Oh,
Yes.
And a lot of those
That
things
mirror,
that we,
mirror stuff.
huh?
That mirror.
Yeah, yeah,
Very wicked.
yeah.
Very
The
enchanting.
origins of a lot of that stuff is way deeper and wicked than we see the prettier.
And then they do that to enchant the children because Satan knows
They target the kids.
train a child in the way that he should go, and when he is old, he should go not depart.
And see, it's also when you again looking at the Eve dynamic, it's like this is, you know, this is what's presented to you. I don't care whether you understand what it is or not. I want you to partake of it in the best way possible.
Right.
If I bring nice, holy looking carolers to your house,
Right.
ring the doorbell and they singing in the harmony, the little pleasant songs with the ringing the bell, that's how I want you to get it. You know, don't get bogged down with the deeper aspects of it. It's just
And they
enjoy
make
it.
all those songs so catchy.
One thing I just found out about is the happy birthday song.
Okay,
And like when when they light the candles and
Yeah.
turn the lights off,
yeah,
and then they sing the song, and the person they blow out the candles, that was basically a spell to make us grow older.
okay, I don't know that.
Oh,
You
I
know
know.
how
Yeah.
Yahuwah prolongs our
I knew
lives,
the candles were wicked.
Yeah,
but that spell is to make us grow older,
Okay.
or to dents our youth.
oh, okay.
Oh,
No, I didn't know nothing about that, boy.
You know what else is the wicked book? And I'm just throwing it out there. That Willy Wonka, which I didn't know.
Oh yeah, that was another one I think about.
But those Wonkas, they were actual people from Africa, and they were the Loofahs. They were slaves.
I used to love that movie too.
Oh, yeah,
It's evil.
What's his name, Gene? What's his
Yeah, if you
name?
read the book though, but if you read the book, the Loofahs were black people.
Huh? Gene Wilder, yeah.
It explains that in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. It tells you
Right,
when
that's
they-
more. I never watched that movie.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
holy shoot.
Yeah.
But Charlie and the Charlie Factory, they still weren't Africans though. They used one Indian.
But the
name.
storyline though was more closer to the
Right.
original.
Yeah.
It's like a book.
Yeah, they clean it up, make it cute for kids and families and
But even in the original one, the movie
he
that
was
we see,
evil.
I mean, those kids did get messed up in the movie.
They
though.
did,
We just laughed at it.
Right.
But yeah,
But he was evil.
Huh?
Willy Wonka is mean.
yeah.
He is mean.
He's passive aggressive. I'm like, what is wrong with him?
But Gene Wilder made him so lovable.
He really did. He was because right now he's like, tell me again how the memes.
And I use that meme all the time too. Tell me again how. I use that all the time though. But that's funny though.
The only good part was Charlie told the truth at the end, and he got the whole factory.
Right.
So he
That
did
was
tell.
the
He
best
got
part.
rewarded for telling the truth. So that
Yeah,
one might not have been so evil.
That,
yeah.
yeah, but
But the rest of it.
He inherited those slaves, so.
right. He inherited slaves.
Oh well, that's not good. See, I hadn't read the book.
Right. But see, like I said, but in the movie they're not slaves.
No, they're
they
not
were
slaves. Yeah.
they were
They
being
just weren't.
devoured by these evil beasts. I wish I could say the name of the evil beast.
Right.
And I saved them not one here to the land of. Gene Wilder made that whole so
Really
nice.
did.
Anyway, where we at?
Is he still alive?
No.
No.
Has he died?
See, therefore, Yahuwah was very angry with Yasharel and removed them out of his sight. There was none left for the tribe of Yahudah only. Also, Yahudah kept not the commandments of Yahuwah their Elohim, but walked in the statutes of Yasharel which they made. And Yahuwah rejected all the seed of Yasharel and afflicted them and delivered them into the hands of spoilers until he had cast them out of his sight.
Right. So both halves of Yasrael were cast out of his sight. And when he cast them out of his sight, he turned his face on the whole entire thing and let the nation do exactly what they wanted to do. And that's where we are to this day right here. So that's the reason why the world cannot see nor hear Yah. Hebrews 8th chapter. It's like going to church and you carrying a big Bible in church, but you don't have no consciousness of there being a covenant people. And that's what the whole book is about. The whole book is about the covenant people that the Father made a covenant with, and somehow we're able to read, study this Bible without no consciousness of that. That's amazing. That's like watching a Spider-Man movie without Spider-Man. Hebrews the 8th chapter. I'm gonna go directly to the point, y'all. Verse 7.
For if that the first covenant had been faultless, then should no place have been sought for the second. For finding fault with them, he said, Behold, the days come, saith Yahuwah, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Yasharel and with the house of Yahudah.
And his saying about in the verse 7 is actually kind of misleading because the first covenant was faultless, but the problem was not with the covenant, it was with the people.
Yep.
That's why he says we're finding fault with them, not finding fault with it, but finding fault with them. He said, Behold, the days come, says Yah, when I will make a new covenant with the house of Yasharel and with the house of Yahudah. And see, even this is being read or was written after Yeshua came and went. Go ahead, finish that at the matter of fact.
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day when I took them by the hand to lead them out of the land of Mizraim, because they continued not in my covenant, and I regarded them not, saith Yahuwah.
Absolutely, find the fault with them. Hallelujah. Go ahead.
For this is the covenant that I will make with the house of Yasharel after those days, says Yahuwah. I will put my laws into their mind and write them in their hearts, and will be to them a Elohim, and they shall be to me a people. And they shall not teach every man his neighbor and every man his brother, saying, Know Yahuwah, for all shall know me from the least to the greatest.
So, the writer of Hebrews, whoever the writer is, I don't know who wrote the book of Hebrews. But he should have, even reading what he's quoting, he should know that that covenant does not exist yet. Just by what he's quoting right here. And they should not teach every man his neighbor. There's never been a time where we don't need to be taught.
Yeah, no more evangelism.
Huh?
Said no more evangelism. No
Right.
more people
Right.
knocking at your door trying to teach the word because
Right.
you already know it.
Right. Just according to what he's saying right here. But the point that I'm reading this is understanding that there was a first covenant, but then he's going to make a new covenant, and there's nothing in between first and second covenant. Huh? The only thing that's in between first and second covenant is the Father removing Israel from his sight and moving them into other nations. And in the other nations, they're going to do what? Serve other deities. Ain't nothing else. There's nothing else to it. Y'all get the point that I'm saying? The Father hid his face from everything because the covenant people have been removed out of his sight. He did not say, okay, well, now we're going to deal with this people now. If he is dealing with another people, then they ain't doing a good job either. Huh?
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, Wanda said something.
Oh yeah.
She said,
That's
she's
my
talking
sister,
about
y'all.
what we were talking about, with everything being passed down to kids. She said also that's how it gets passed down from generation to generation, unless one comes into the meaning behind the scenes of things and then can break the generational curse.
Right. Right. But again, we're living in a time when we really don't want this generational curse to be broken. Sad to say. Isaiah 54th chapter. This is just so deep, y'all. The understanding of the conditions of the chosen people is the connection in between really knowing the existence of the Father and the state of the world that we're in. Isaiah 54.
Oh, 54.
I'm sorry. What you say, 64?
I thought you said 24.
Oh, dang.
I heard 54.
All right. Oh, girl. All right.
She would be the one to understand.
You just can't hear.
That's what it is. Okay, we'll go with that.
All right. I want to read this anyway. Pick up at verse 1.
Sing, O barren, thou that didst not bear, break forth into singing and cry loud, thou that didst not travail with child. For more are the children of the desolate than the children of the married wife, says Yahuwah. Enlarge the place of thy tent, and let them stretch forth the curtains of thine habitation. Spare not, lengthen thy cords, and strengthen thy stakes. For thou shalt break forth on the right hand and on the left, and thy seed shall inherit the Gentiles, and make the desolate cities to be inhabited.
Okay.
Fear not, for thou shalt not be ashamed, neither be thou confounded, for thou shalt not be put to shame. For thou shalt forget the shame of thy youth, and shall not remember the reproach of thy widowhood any more. For thy maker is thy husband, Yahuwah of hosts is his name, and thy redeemer of the Holy One of Yasharel, the Elohim of the whole earth shall he be called.
Wow.
For Yahuwah hath called thee as a woman forsaken and grieved in spirit, and a wife of youth, when thou was refused, said thy Elohim. For a small moment have I forsaken thee, but with great mercy will I gather thee.
Wow.
In a little wrath I hid my face from thee for a moment, but with everlasting kindness I will have mercy on thee, said Yahuwah thy Redeemer.
Hallelujah. I should have read this last, y'all. I really
Yeah.
should have. But I don't know. My bad. I didn't read this last. Let's go back into the mire. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. Well, that's a little hope, y'all. We know that this state that we're in is not the end all be all. But for right now, it's the end all be all. 1 Corinthians, the 2nd chapter. Hey. 1 Corinthians, 2nd chapter. Pick this up at the 4th verse.
And my speech and my preaching was not with
I'm
enticement.
sorry, stop it at the top. I'm sorry.
Okay. And I, brethren, when I came to you, came not with excellency of speech or of wisdom, declaring unto you the testimony of Elohim. For I determined not to know anything among you, save Yahshua from Mashiach and him
Yeah,
crucified.
that was your problem, Paul. You should have known a whole lot of other stuff. So you could have taught a whole lot of other stuff, but out of your own mouth, you determined, that's a hell of a word, determined, not to know anything among you except Joshua HaMashiach and him crucified. Wow. You got a whole
So-
lot. Huh?
Yeah.
So he didn't even really look at the actual Torah. He
Right.
more so focused
Hey.
on Yahshua.
We can only go by
Not
what
the
he just said.
foundation.
Or he
Yeah.
threw it away.
Bob's like, dude,
Yeah, that's
all
what it
these
sound
letters you wrote, just a whole lot of letters you write just to say Yahshua came and crucified. I don't get that.
Yeah.
You had to know a little bit more than that. You should have said a lot more than that.
And that's why they say all of Jesus, or they say Jesus' sacrifices. the only thing.
That's right, absolutely.
But that's not right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And then again, if that's the case, then we should have Yahshua say the exact same thing. Yahshua said, except your righteousness means righteousness of God and man.
That's just Christianity right there.
Right.
You know, they said that, I'm just using the words what they
That's
say.
right.
Jesus
That's
nailed
right.
to the cross,
That's right.
for my sins.
That's right.
That's all
He did
that's
it
all
all.
they think. He did it all.
Paid it all.
Paid the price. And that's why they wear their crosses.
And they don't even know what sin is.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
Paid
a
the
song.
price for
That's a
their
good
sin,
song.
but they don't know that.
Go ahead.
All right. And when I was with you in weakness and in fear and in much trembling, and my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of a man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power, that your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of Elohim. How about we speak wisdom among them that are perfect, yet not the wisdom of this world, nor are the princes of this world that came to naught. But we speak the wisdom of Elohim in a mystery, even the hidden wisdom which Elohim ordained before the word which ordained before the world unto our glory,
Okay, so this is the reason why I'm reading this. Go ahead.
which none of the princes of the world knew, for had they known it, they would not have crucified the Yahuwah of glory, the Master of glory. I'm sorry. But as it is written, I have not seen, nor ear heard, neither have entered into the heart of man, the thing which Elohim has prepared for them that love him. But Elohim hath revealed them unto us by his Spirit, for the Spirit searcheth all things, yea, the deep things of Elohim. For what man knoweth the things of a man, save the spirit of a man which is in him? So the things of Elohim knoweth no man, but the Spirit of Elohim. Now we have received not the spirit of the world, but of the Spirit which of Elohim,
Or, yeah.
of Yah, thank you, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of
So
Yah.
again, me reading this, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt. Because what he's saying actually holds merit for those of us that are in this truth. He said, now we have received not the spirit of the world, because the spirit of the world is what the whole world is dealing with today, but the spirit which is of Elohim, that we might know the things that are freely given to us of Elohim. I like that. Hallelujah for that.
Mhm.
I ain't gonna speak to say what he meant by it, but to me, the words absolutely rings true. Go ahead.
13.
Uh-huh.
Which things also we speak, not in the words which man's wisdom teaches,
That's right.
but with the Ruach Kadesh teaches, comparing spiritual things with spiritual.
I get down with that. Go ahead.
But the natural man receiveth not the things of the Spirit of Elohim,
Absolutely not.
for they are foolishness
Yes,
unto
they
him.
are.
You see that?
Yes, they are. Go ahead.
Neither can he know them because they are spiritually discerned.
Swear, gotta let you do get a little bit of this, boy.
It's like sometimes it's so good, and then it's just.
Go ahead.
But he that is spiritual judgeth all things.
That's right.
Yet he himself is judge of no man. For who hath known the mind of Yahuwah that he may instruct him? But we have the mind of the
Yeah,
Mashiach.
like I say, I get down with that.
Yeah.
Get down with that,
He
boy.
was solid in
Yeah, he ate his cornflakes.
He was in
that
his right, he was in his right mind on that one.
All right, hallelujah. All right. Y'all laughing. Deuteronomy the 30th chapter.
Should have sat down with the fellas, man.
Right, he really should.
He only sat down when there were 15 days.
Right.
Whenever they had
And only to tell him what he did when he just did.
Right. Oh, guess what else I done did? Right. All the glory by
I'm
himself.
Apostle
Did he
Paul.
have
Apostle who? Apostle
You know
Paul.
that it's a
Apostle what?
possibility. She said, look,
Deuteronomy 30th chapter.
he didn't catch that.
And again, we're gonna start this off at the 15 verse. Yep, 15.
Again? Oh, we did 31.
See, I have set before thee this day life and good, and death and evil, and that I command thee this day to love Yahuwah thy Elohim, to walk in his ways, and to keep his commandments, and his statutes, and his judgments, that thou mayest live and multiply, and that Yahuwah thy Elohim shall bless thee in the land whether thou goest to possess it. But if thine heart turn away, so that thou wilt not hear, that thou shalt be drawn away and worship other idols and serve them, I denounce unto you this day that ye shall surely perish, and that ye shall not prolong your days upon the land whether thou pass over Jordan to go possess it. I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live, that thou mayest love Yahuwah thy Elohim, and that thou mayest obey his voice, and that thou mayest cleave unto him, for he is thy life, and the length of thy days, that thou mayest dwell in the land which Yahuwah sware unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give them.
Okay, you know what? And I think that I meant to say Deuteronomy the 31st chapter. But and we read some of that. We read, what did we read? The
From
first
15 to
15.
15 to what?
31 and 15.
So what verse did we read it to?
To 20 something? No, no. No.
Yeah, we didn't read it to the end. But,
Yeah, 15.
okay. You know what? Okay. You said to what verse?
No, we didn't go to 30.
Yeah. 32, 30. Oh, we didn't do 30.
No, we did 31. Well, where did we stop at 31, Cynthia? Deuteronomy 31.
That I was.
Okay, so what we did, I think we went to the
Then we
18th
went to
verse.
32.
Yeah.
13 through 30. That's the second one we did.
And then we started at Deuteronomy 32, 1 through 30. But I don't know where we start off.
Oh, that was the 32nd chapter of Deuteronomy we read.
Yeah, 15 through 30.
Right.
We did 30. Yeah, we did.
No.
Well, I tell you what,
No,
we
Deuteronomy.
didn't read this, y'all. So we in Deuteronomy 31st chapter, and pick it up at the 26th verse. We're gonna read that to the 31st.
Right, because we didn't, yeah, we started like 18
Right.
or something.
That's what we did. Exactly.
26 verse.
Uh-huh.
Take this book of the law and put it in the side of the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah your Elohim, that it may be there for a witness against thee. For I know thy rebellion and thy stiff neck. Behold, while I'm yet alive with you this day, ye have been rebellious against Yahuwah, and how much more after my death. Gather unto me the elders of your tribes and your officers, that I may speak these words in their ears, and call heaven and earth to record against them. For I know that after my death, ye will utterly corrupt yourselves.
Oh, and there's that thing again about heaven and earth recording, y'all. Heaven and earth recording. We read that casually, but I think there's a whole lot to that.
It is.
A whole lot more than what we think. Man, the Father got these eyes on us. Huh?
He knows everything we're doing.
Everything.
That really woke me up to watch my thoughts, my mind,
Uh-huh.
everything I did. It really,
Uh-huh.
it shocked me.
Yep.
I was embarrassed.
Yep. He ain't playing when he says that, man.
Yeah, because I think.
Even the trees, he tell you, the trees also record too.
Mhm.
Yup.
Yeah. So I look at, being on heaven and thinking about the firmament and then the waters above and below. And I think when you look at it, it's almost like a magnifying glass. It's
Right.
almost like you can really
Ooh,
see
ooh,
everything
what
very
is it?
clearly.
The
No,
firmament.
Oh,
the
yeah.
firmament, yeah. It's like a magnifying glass. When you have the waters above and below, you can really see through it, and it kind of magnifies and it makes us,
And that's why the water
Yeah, it's almost like
turns
yeah.
into that rainbow.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yup. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Go ahead.
Good point.
I'm gonna start at 29.
Go ahead.
Okay.
For I know that after my death, ye will utterly corrupt yourselves, and turn aside from the way which I have commanded you. And evil will befall you in the latter days, because ye will do evil in the sight of Yahuwah, to provoke him to anger through the work of your hands. And Shemaiah spake in the ears of all of the congregation of Yasharel the words of this song until they were ended.
Wow. Okay. All right. Let's go into the 4th chapter of Deuteronomy.
Oh, whose favorite first chapter is this?
Exactly. Ooh. Speak on it. Yeah, Andrea was already there.
Yep.
You don't know what you're talking about.
I knew it. That's why I said it.
Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter, my absolute favorite chapter in the whole entire book. Absolutely, it covers everything. Oh, I'm picking up right where we left off. How about that? Verse 26.
26.
Yep.
That's why I always make sure
I'll call heaven and earth to witness against you this
He
day.
wasn't playing when he said that, y'all. Huh?
2 or 3 witnesses.
Man, 2 or 3 witnesses. He wasn't playing. Go ahead.
That ye shall soon utterly perish from off the land wherever ye go over Jordan to possess it. Ye shall not prolong your days upon it, but shall utterly be destroyed. And Yahuwah shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, where the Yahuwah shall lead you. And there you shall serve idols the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see, nor hear, nor eat, nor smell.
Jesus.
But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahuwah thy Elohim,
Y'all can tell people that y'all Borre preach Jesus.
I thought you were saying Jesus, because you know I'm like Jesus.
I know. See, that's a perception. Those who don't know would have thought something else, but those who know would have been like, oh, dang. Absolutely. That's a very good point. That's how the scriptures are. If you have knowledge and understanding, you read the words and understand it on a whole different level.
Right.
It's somebody that don't really know what they're reading, but it's the same. We read the same language. We read English, but why you don't have the same understanding that somebody else has or lack thereof? But that's a really, really good point. I said it so somebody looking at this tape or whatever, they heard me say, Jesus, that all that boy got the Holy Spirit. Man, see that?
Came back.
Hey, right. Thank God good. Thank God good. He couldn't even keep it to himself. I said, even the rocks would cry out. Go ahead.
but if from thence thou shalt seek Yahuwah thy Elohim, thou shalt find him if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Now, I almost want to cry reading that. Read that 29 one more time. That's heavy.
But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahuwah thy Elohim, thou shalt find him if thou shalt seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
Man, that is so beautiful. So I'm thinking in terms of the fact that he done hid his eyes from all of this, but he still left us this little thing right here. And we bear witness of this right here. But from there, not from here, the land of Canaan, but from there, when everybody else calling on the name of that wood and idol, wood and stone,
Jesus.
did somebody else say Jesus in this congregation? Man,
Go to work.
my boy, come on.
Spirit moving in here.
But if from this, y'all, that's a promise right there.
Right.
This is without there being a new covenant. Do y'all understand? The new covenant ain't even happened yet.
Right.
Yet and still, but if from this, wow. Finish that out for me.
When thou art in tribulation.
No, read that 29 one more time. Yeah, that's
But if from thence thou shalt seek Yahuwah thy Elohim, thou shalt find him. And if thou seek him with all thy heart and with all thy soul.
that's the only way it can be done. He is still able to be found, even though his eyes had hid his face from everything. But you can still have access to him. That's deep right there. Go ahead.
When thou art in tribulation, and all these things are come upon thee, even in the latter days.
He said, look, even when you find them, you still got to deal with this tribulation. Huh? Do y'all see what I'm saying here? When you are in tribulation, go ahead. All these things are come upon thee. Go ahead.
In the latter days, if thou turn to Yahuwah thy Elohim, and shall be obedient unto his voice, for Yahuwah thy Elohim is merciful Elohim. He will not forsake thee, neither destroy thee, nor forget the covenant of thy fathers which he sware to them.
Wait a minute. He would not forget. Cynthia, you see that? He would not forget the covenant of our fathers who swore to thee. That's the covenant. It's the same covenant. At this time, it's the same covenant. Somebody ain't reading this. Somebody's not reading this, man. Go ahead. I ain't even got to the reading on reading this yet.
For as now of the days that are past, which were before thee, since the day that Elohim created man upon the earth, and asked from one of the side of heaven unto the other, whether there has been any such thing as this great thing is, or has been heard like it. Did ever people hear the voice of Elohim speaking out in the midst of the fire, as, as, as thou hast heard and lived?
That's right.
And
Y'all
live.
heard.
Tell
That's
them.
right.
Live.
Y'all heard his voice. It wasn't no one person hearing his voice and he said, hey, I heard his voice. No, y'all collectively heard his voice.
Everybody.
And they said, and I will. What's it say? What
That's
they said, and
right.
I will do. Yeah.
That's right.
And we
That's
live
right.
to tell.
That's right.
We live to tell.
There was no religion in none of this stuff here. When you heard that voice, man, there wasn't no religion. Go ahead. 34.
Or has Elohim essayed to go and take him a nation from the midst of another nation by temptations, by signs, and by wonders, and by war, and by a mighty hand, and by a stretched out arm, and by great terrors, according to all that Yahuwah your Elohim did for you in Mitzrayim before your eyes? Until thee it was showed that thou mightest know that Yahuwah, he is Elohim, and there is none else beside him.
And so the reason why I'm reading this, y'all, is because he have not essayed to go into another nation, another church, another anything. Nothing has replaced Israel. But with him removing himself from Israel, from his sight, it just, the earth just went in the direction that it went until the time in which he would bring back the people and bring the new covenant on this earth. But until then, the world cannot know him, hear him, or see him. Simple as that. Isaiah the 24th chapter. I think I just read this.
Isaiah 24.
Yeah, Isaiah 24. This is the lack of the Father's presence on the earth. Okay? Isaiah 24, and I'll pick this up at verse 4.
Yeah, 35.
The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The hardy people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled of the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
Right, the whole earth is defiled. The Holy Land is doubly defiled. But the whole earth is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant. You see, and to a certain degree, they're without excuse, y'all, because nobody debate what the number one best-selling book is in the whole world. Huh?
Where we started?
Where we start at? Verse 4.
Okay. Okay, I see. And we ended at
Huh?
Okay.
Verse 6.
Oh, you got it. I'm sorry.
Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
Okay, and skip down to verse 19.
The earth is utterly broken down. The earth is clean, dissolved. The earth is moved exceedingly. The earth shall reel to and fro like a drunkard, and shall be removed like a cottage. And the transgression thereof shall be heavy upon it, and it shall fall and not rise again. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahuwah shall punish the host of the high ones that are on high, and the kingdoms of the earth upon the earth. And they shall be gathered together as prisoners are gathered in the pit, and shall be shut up in the prison, and after many days shall they be visited. Then the moon shall be confounded, and the sun ashamed. When Yahuwah of hosts shall reign in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem, and before his agents, glorious.
So again, as a result of the Father hiding his eyes from the people and to a certain extent the whole world, this is the state that the world is in right here, right now. The whole earth, entire earth is cursed. No, it might have been a good thing if somebody would have replaced Israel. Because then the whole world would have had, knew a little bit better concerning the Most High. But the condition of the earth is proof that the Father had not replaced Israel. He done hid his eyes from the whole entire dynamic, and now the result of that, the earth is cursed. Three more places real quick in Revelations, just again to show the state that the world is in because of the absence of YAH on this earth. Revelation 11 chapter. Revelation 11, and this is end time prophecy right here that we deal with. But again, all the stuff they're reading about is as a result of the Father that hid his face from the side. 11 verse 1.
And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood, saying, Rise, and measure the temple of Elohim, and the altar, and them that worship therein. But the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not, for it is given unto the Gentiles. And the holy city shall they tread underfoot 42 months.
Wow, 3.5 years, y'all. That was that key thing right there. Go ahead.
And I will give power unto my two witnesses, and they shall prophesy in 1,260 days, cloth and sackcloth.
Same time period, y'all. Today, the exact same time period. They keep talking about building the temple there, but when they build that temple, start functioning it, guess what? Those two witnesses are supposed to appear at that exact same time.
That's what this war is about. They about to start it.
Say it again?
That's what this war is leading to.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
They have their room, they have their space.
Huh?
They have their room, they have their space.
Mm.
to build.
Yeah.
These are the two olive trees and the two candlesticks standing before Elohim of the earth. And if any man will hurt them, fire proceedeth out of their mouth and devoureth their enemies. And if any man will hurt them, he must this manner be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over water to turn them to blood, and to smite the earth with all plagues as often as they will. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the streets of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified.
Can y'all kind of conceive
Right there, go, God.
how, for lack of a better term, how horrible it will be for the entire earth when these two individuals come to light and do their thing?
They gonna be Debbie Downers.
Huh?
They'll be Debbie Downers.
Imagine it'd be for those of us wherever we are at this time, preferably to be in a place of safety.
Yeah.
'Cause it can't be here, y'all. We ain't gonna be here.
No, this place is gonna go up.
Man, no.
Does it burn, baby?
But
Burn.
look, yeah, but if you happen to be stuck here, you ain't gonna be shouting loudly for what them two witnesses are doing in Jerusalem, because they gonna be wrecking havoc.
Yep.
Okay? And everybody in the whole entire world is gonna be hating what these two witnesses are
That's why they
doing.
gonna rejoice when they die.
Huh?
That's why they rejoice.
Right, I'm just saying the reality of understanding that these two witnesses are gonna be such an evil terror
To the world.
to the world. And I mean, we reading it now, but we would be, wherever we are, whatever, would be scared to even say anything positive about them
Right.
because you're scared that the wrong person gonna hear it and then you're gonna automatically be put to death or in prison or whatever because you are aligning yourself with these two witnesses that are just killing the armies of the nations, including America. So I'm just saying that's just a deep, deep dynamic that we're reading about here, but these are the things that are gonna happen on the earth because of the lack of the knowledge of Yah. Why the world can't hear, why the world can't see. Because if you see and hear Yah, then you're gonna know, oh man, when they build that temple, then we're gonna be sitting there saying, man, I wonder who these two witnesses are gonna be. The scripture said they got to come at the exact same time. 40 and 2 months. What did he say for them? Same time. 1,260 days. So we're gonna be looking at it concurrently at the same time.
So that's that blue and red, that left and right, the good and the evil.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Again, people with a lack of understanding will see it this way. There's going to be a lot of people cheering at the new temple being built in Jerusalem. Oh, wow.
Oh, wow, I can't wait to go visit that.
It's beautiful. I got to go see it.
Just like that one in Orlando that they had.
The Holy Land. Yep.
I always think of those two witnesses with maybe Meshalak and Enoch.
Huh?
Meshalak, is that how you said, like Melchizedek or
Oh,
Meshalak?
Malak Shaddai.
Malak, thank you, Malak Shaddai, or Enoch.
Well, I'm going to tell y'all, just in case anybody wondering, I done seen a whole lot of lessons on who these two witnesses are.
Yeah.
And I don't have a
You
consensus.
don't
I do not have a consensus. Bro, what are you talking about? You know that's Elijah and Enoch and
Yeah, so
is that nope. It ain't even
It
the
could be
point.
anybody, yeah.
Right, it ain't even the point for me
Anybody.
to even put a name on it.
Right.
My salvation does not hinder on me knowing who these two witnesses are. But I know what they're gonna do when they get here.
That part.
I know that I better be in 100% alignment with whatever's coming out of his mouth.
Right there.
That's the thing I know. Oh man, I was teaching this thing wrong, man, and I thought the thing wrong. The data good. Hey, but you know how some bitch like I'll be like, man, I want to debate these two witnesses.
Some people go.
I know that little thing that they said right there. That can't be right. That can't be according
We're
to.
gonna invite them to our podcast.
Yeah.
Go right ahead. Good luck with that. Good luck. Let me know how that work out for you.
Yeah.
Wow, where we at, y'all? Oh yeah. Read verse 5. Read verse 5.
Yeah, if any man will hurt them, fire proceeds out of their mouth and devours their enemy. And if any man will hurt them, he must fear that this man will be killed. These have power to shut heaven, that it rain not in the days of their prophecy, and have power over waters to turn into blood, to smite all the earth with all plagues, as often as they
Oh,
will.
that's deep right there, y'all. Because if you don't got no rain, you done messed up the whole
Ecosystem.
economic system. Prices going sky high, food becomes scarce. That's something they're gonna be dealing with, y'all. So man,
As often as they will.
huh?
As often as they will.
It's not gonna rain for 10
You know how they got
days.
You know they got fog machines, right?
Uh-huh,
Clouds or whatever.
okay, good luck with that,
Right.
good luck with that. Mm-mm-mm. Bible she's only working, if it got power, if it's
Right.
plugged in, as the saying goes. Go ahead.
And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit shall make war against them, and shall overcome them and kill them. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt, where also our master was crucified. And they of the people and kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, and shall not suffer their dead bodies to be put in graves. And they that dwell among the earth shall rejoice over them, and make merry, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them, and dwelt on the
And
earth.
that's the thing, because these two witnesses ain't gonna be partial to not one nation on the earth. The whole earth is gonna be united against them. Huh?
NWO.
Yup. Where we at?
But I understand too, because like you said, they gonna be so happy, they gonna just leave them out there to God, they should everybody see them.
That's right.
They ain't gonna even try to cover
Right.
up, ain't no shame, ain't no neck.
That's right.
Because it sends a message. It's
Yeah,
like
it's a
they
message.
said,
Yeah.
Lynn
Right.
Johnson sends a message. Leave it hanging.
No,
Leave it there.
And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life from Elohim entered into them, and they stood upon their feet, and with great fear fell upon them which saw them. And they heard a great voice from heaven saying unto them, Come up hither. And they ascended up to the heaven in the cloud, and their enemies beheld them. And the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell, and in the earthquake were slain of men 7,000, and the remnant were frightened, and they gave glory to the Elohim of heaven. The second woe is past, and behold, the third
And right
woe.
there, that 13 verse alone, man, made me think about these Israelites that decided they wanted to go to Israel. Some of them, they're there now, and they went through some turmoil these past couple of months. I've seen them on video with what Hamas did with them there. But he said here this time, the same hour was there a great earthquake, and the 10th part of the city fell. There's nothing about that city that's going to represent the kingdom of the Most High. Period. You go over there, you only going over there to take part in the destruction of what's going to happen over there. Simple as that. All right, continue. Uh-huh.
The second woe is past, and behold, the third woe cometh quickly. And the seventh angel sounded, and there were great voices in heaven saying, The kingdom of this world are become the kingdoms of our Elohim, and of his Mashiach, and he shall reign forever and ever. And the 24 elders which sat before Elohim on their seats fell upon their faces and worshiped Elohim, saying, We give thanks, O Master Yah Almighty, which art and was and art to come, because thou hast taken to thee thy great power and hast reigned. And the nations were angry,
Yep.
and the wrath is come, and the time of the dead, that they should be judged, and that thou shouldest give reward unto thy servants, the prophets, and to the saints, and to them that fear the name, small and great, and shouldest destroy them that destroy the earth.
Mhm.
And the temple of Elohim was opened in heaven, and there was seen in his temple the ark of his testament. And there were lightnings and voices and thunderings and an earthquake and a great hail.
So again, all this stuff is happening because the entire earth has been void of hearing and seeing Yah. All right, we're gonna close out on this last reading in the 12th chapter of Revelation. Start this at the top.
And there appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun, and the moon under her feet, and upon her head was a crown of 12 stars. And she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. And his tail drew the third
Oh,
part.
real quickly, that verse 2, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth, and pain to be delivered. Y'all know how many of the prophets spoke about this same woman being in travail? See, again, you read the prophets, you will understand what we're reading about here, about this woman representing the nation of Israel. The child represents the nation, but it also represents our Mashiach as well. Okay, go ahead.
4.
Right.
And his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven, and did cast them into the earth. And the dragon stood before the one which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it was born. And she brought forth a man child, who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up unto Elohim, and to his throne.
Now, that verse there, does that verse remind you of any of the prophecies there? And she brought forth the man child who was to rule all nations with the rod of iron. And the child was caught up unto Elohim and to his throne. Any of the prophecies that remind y'all of reading it?
In the Old Testament?
Yeah, prophecies, uh-huh.
The one in only the one in Isaiah when it talks about by his stripes, and the same one that says by his stripes we are healed.
Okay. Right. The one I think of is the one in Micah. Micah
Chapter 4.
chapter 5, I think. Let's look at that real quick. We're gonna come back here. Uh-oh. Flip game, flip game.
Get right and get left.
Between Jonah, Nabal. That's it, Micah. Yeah, Micah 5. Micah 5. Pick that up in verse 1.
Now gather thyself in truth, O daughter of truth. He hath laid siege against us. They shall smite the judge of Yasharel with the rod upon the cheek. But thou, Ephraim, Ephratah, though thou be little among the thousands of Yahudah, that out of thee shall come forth unto me, that is to be ruler of Yasharel, whose goings forth have been from of old, from everlasting. Therefore will he give them up until the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth.
So I think about him giving them up. That's the part about him, going to the heavens. That he came and manifested himself on the earth, and he came to do what? To die, basically. And he said, therefore will he give them up. Go ahead.
To the time that she which travaileth hath brought forth. Then the remnant of his brethren shall return unto the children of Yasharel, and he shall stand and feed in the strength of Yahuwah, in the majesty of the name of Yahuwah his Elohim, and they shall abide, for now shall he be great unto the ends of the earth.
Right. So this is what I think about when I read what we just read in Revelations. About he was to rule the nations with a rod of iron, but her child was caught up until even to his throne. And at the same time that happened, that's verse 5 we read in the 12th chapter. Pick that up at verse 6.
And the woman fled into the wilderness, where she had a place prepared for Elohim, that they should feed her there 1,203 square days.
So therefore, right now, we're at a time when we have all these precursors, right? There should be wars, pestilence, rumors of wars, but they ain't like that. And this, that, and the other, like we read in Matthew 24, right? So we be thinking about the wilderness, the place of safety, which I know that the place is really talking about what we call present day Jordan. Because Jordan is where the actual wilderness was. I had to do that lesson, y'all, concerning Moab, Ammon, and Edom being a place of safety during this time. Are y'all familiar with any of that? Heard of any of that?
For the new with the actual
Yeah.
principles, I know the
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The wilderness.
Right. But see, the thing is that a change is going to have to take place. Because I know when I look at Jordan today, I'm like, I don't know. Not right now. But the thing is, he says that the place is going to be there for 1,203 square days. So I can't look at it now because we're not in 1,203 square days.
Right.
That's very specific. It's very specific about how long that temple is going to be built in the land, right? It's very specific regarding how long those witnesses are going to be preaching in the land. Everything is so specific. So to leave and go to any place is safety right now.
It's not conducive, not
Premature.
enough.
I mean, unless you just want to be there and maintain or whatever. But we know that there's a specific time frame where if you ain't there, you ain't gonna get there.
That's why you gotta pray and say, Father, if I'm alive, and many of us are alive at that time,
You got to pray. You got to keep watching.
You gotta watch. Yeah.
Because right now, what a lot of us are waiting for, we waiting on that red heifer to be sacrificed over there in the temple.
Yep.
Because when that man of sin stands in that temple, you can count the days.
Yeah.
It ain't even no.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's the prayer, fasting and praying. And you got to make sure, and like you said, watch and pray. That's what he said.
That's right. That's what he said. Watch and pray.
Because we definitely have to know, Father, let us be able to, before they shut down everything, you can't leave.
Right. Exactly.
Give us that time.
Exactly.
If we're still alive.
Exactly.
To get out.
Exactly.
Get to the place.
Right. So he gave us everything that we have to look at.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of us that call themselves going to different places right now, and but the thing is that the specific time have not yet made itself manifest at this particular juncture.
So it's in everybody's best interest not to be beholden or dedicated or connected or whatever you want to call that word where I can't get rid of this or I'm attached to this.
True that.
Don't
That's
do
true.
that. Don't be attached.
That is true.
Be able to give up.
Huh?
Let go and walk away.
Yeah, it is. It is. It is.
But we still want to, like we still have things, but it's to be able to not just let it go where you're not, you're gonna have to deal with that at some
Right.
point probably.
At some
Yeah.
point, just have in your mind that I may have to
Yeah.
walk away from this. So don't put so much into it. You be like, well, don't cherish it.
Yeah.
Like you said, let your treasures be in heaven. What they said in what Matthew 5? Is that Matthew 5? So yeah, we just definitely have to just not
Right.
be in that mindset.
But see, like I say, so again, the elect know what to look for.
Yeah.
The elect know absolutely what to look for. I can't stand up here and say, hey man, we need to get up here now. Because that was some leaders of organizations do.
Yeah.
And people just say, oh, if he said it's time to go, it's time to go. Father don't work like that.
It's taking matters into y'all.
Right. I literally don't know nothing more than what y'all know.
What do y'all think about prepping like stuff, stuff like that?
My thing is there's nothing wrong with that either. Because it doesn't prohibit you from however that you live now.
Yeah.
Like I say, if my thing is, again, and we talk about this a lot, concerning Africa or whatever. At this point in juncture, I don't know what country is safe to go to. You know, I could literally could be going out of the frying pan into the fire.
You can make your situation worse.
You can make the situation worse. I'm only moving because all I'm thinking is, hey, I don't want to be caught up in the system. I don't want to be caught up in the system. But the truth of the matter is that the Father gave us specific things that we need to see. And everything has to work in conjunction. That if I'm seeing this, then the place of safety that I know is supposed to be, that must mean something has developed in order for me to know, oh yeah. Huh?
Yeah, that's when
Yeah.
that's when you
Yeah. You know, like I say, in Jordan right now, there's some Israelites that went there for this very same reason. But they're there for now just because they want to be there. You know, they want a heads up or whatever, but that's where they at now. But the time period is 3.5 years specifically.
But you even read it at one point in time that the Father, told us to stay in the place of our captivity or where we're supposed to be until He brings us out.
Right.
Well, see, the thing is this though. He also told us to flee out of Babylon too. So I think that
Everywhere is Babylon.
Yeah.
well,
Sure seems like
no, not if you're gonna be in that place of safety where you're not gonna be affected by. Okay, how far did we read in here anyway? Where we at?
Who's in Revelation?
Yeah, Revelation 12th chapter, and okay, I think it was verse 7.
Yeah.
Let's finish reading this out.
Verse 7. If there was a war in heaven, Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought and his angels, and prevailed not. Neither was their place found any more in heaven. And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil, and Hasatan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out unto the earth, and his angels was cast out with him. And I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our Elohim and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our Elohim day and night. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. And they loved not their lives unto death. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
Okay, so we ain't got the rejoice part, we got the woe part. Okay, that's what's to us. It happened to the earth and of the sea. For the devil's come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a very short time. 13.
And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child.
Right, so that's been the state of Israel. That's been in the state of persecution from 70 AD, even before 70 AD, right? All the way into this day. A state of constant persecution. Go ahead.
And to the woman were given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time, and times, and half a time, from the face of the serpent. And the serpent cast out all his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he might cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood which the dragon cast out of his mouth.
So I guess that's what the thing is about verse 14, about the woman giving 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place. So how do we interpret that? Is it something where the Father is gonna produce what these are two wings of a great eagle? Or is it something that we will be given insight that we need to be up? And that's the question. That is a really question. I've read this 100 times, but I've always thought in terms of the fact that we taking it upon ourselves to flee Babylon based off of other places that I've read.
You know,
Huh?
well, I don't think you would say that these are two wings, I mean, might represent the two times of the first time of the Lord, you know, and then, first building, and then the second wing to be the second part.
Verse 14.
Going back to the wilderness, second time. I don't know.
Well, this is only one time right here. This is only one time right here that we're reading about. Verse 14. About that this woman, Israel.
Okay, yeah, but it's back to that time.
Right,
Time and a half.
Right, exactly. So this is only one time that we're talking about here. So I'm saying by interpretation, is this something that will be given to us at that time appointed? Or is it something that we need to? And see the reason why, because in Matthew 24, when Yahshua talks about it, he said, well, we shall see the abomination, desolation, stand in the holy place, that we need to be up.
Yeah, don't go back in the house, get your
See,
stuff.
so that's
Get
the
out.
reason why I'm asking, because we really have to wonder. Let me see.
We have to exercise prudence. Like you said, like we just talked about, that's Proverbs. Like, I was looking
You know
at
what? I think I know the answer to this. I think that the answer to this might be found in that Ezekiel, the 20th chapter.
Mm.
In Ezekiel 20th chapter, how did we get there? So yeah, that's the answer. Hold up. Ezekiel 20th chapter. Okay, so to Cynthia's point, y'all,
Okay.
that's what we're gonna go with. Cynthia, that's
What was
your
your
point.
point again, Cynthia?
Huh?
To move when he tell us.
Yeah, well, he told us.
Right, so again, Ezekiel's 20th chapter has the answer to this.
Okay.
Let's go there real quick, and we're gonna come back and finish out that Revelation 12 chapter. Ezekiel's 20th chapter, you there already? What verse you read? Yeah, 30, yeah, that's it, 32nd verse. 32nd verse.
And that which cometh into your mind shall not be at all, that ye say, we will be as the heathen, as families of the countries to serve wood and stone. As I live, said Yahuwah Elohim, surely with a mighty hand, and with a stretched out arm, and with fury poured out, I will rule over you. And I will bring you out from the people, and will gather you out of the countries where ye are scattered, with a mighty hand, and with a and will stretched out arm, and will fury poured out. And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people,
There you go, right there.
and there
There you go,
will
right
I
there.
plead with you face to
So
face.
kind of, it's really kind of a mirror of what he did to the children of Israel in Egypt. He brought them
Right,
out with fury,
right, right.
stretched
See,
out.
I know you said, I'm thinking that most of the verses talk about him bringing us into the land at the end of the days. Y'all know what I'm talking about? He brings us from the four corners of
Right,
the earth.
right.
But here he's specifically saying bringing us into the wilderness. So,
And that's what he did with our
Right.
fathers.
That eagle could be a plane.
huh?
That eagle could be a plane.
It could be, absolutely. Two wings of an eagle. Right, right. Spirit
Well,
and
he said-
the spirit.
We was
Spirit
over here, we
airline.
was distressing them
Yeah.
so bad.
Eagle airline.
Distressing them out so bad, like, get them up out of here.
Yeah.
Get them up out of here.
Yeah, they gonna be rushing like.
I don't even want to see you no more. Get out.
But see, but again, y'all, that's the answer right here. We gonna absolutely have to look for the Father to gather us and bring us into that
So we
wilderness.
gotta stay in obedience, stay in subjection.
I might be an RV until that time comes. I don't know. So where
Girl.
Huh?
We was just talking tiny
Tiny
homes.
Right. Right. Read that 35 again.
And I will bring you into the wilderness of the people, and there will I plead with you face to face, like as I pleaded with your fathers in the wilderness of the land of Israel. So will I plead with you, said Yahuwah Elohim. And I will cause you to pass under the rod, and I will bring you into the bond of the covenant.
There you go. That's happening in the wilderness, y'all. That new covenant.
Oh, I was gonna,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, can you explain, cause when I hear plead, I think of plead, but I've come from a congregation that's like, nah, that don't really mean plead, that means something else.
And he's right. They're right.
It means something else?
Right.
It doesn't mean like
Cause he gonna separate,
an
he
ultimatum.
gathering us all, but he also.
Well,
at that
you know
time, I
what?
think
No,
gonna
I
separate
stand
the
corrected.
whole
I'm gonna
shit.
tell you why I said that.
I think,
No.
you don't think that's
No.
right? Okay.
The pleading here is exactly the pleading that we read, because he said, like as I pleaded with your fathers. What they're talking about when we read about it in Joel 3rd chapter. But in Joel 3rd chapter, he's not pleading with us. He's pleading with the nations.
Oh,
And that pleading is not this type of
Pleading.
so
pleading.
that pleading is the Armageddon, that's
Right.
Armageddon.
I think that's Joel 3rd chapter when he says, what he says there. That's what they're talking about. Joel 3rd chapter, when he says,
See, I always thought that was talking about separating the goat from the sheep, that's what I always thought that.
Like an ultimatum,
Like, yeah,
oh,
right,
that's the plead.
that's what I was thinking.
Right here.
is that what it says? I will gather all nations and will bring them down in, right. 3rd chapter, verse 1. Are you there already? Not there already? Joel, this is what they're talking about. Joel chapter, 3rd
Job
chapter.
or
Yeah,
Joel?
Joel.
Joel.
3rd chapter.
Make it plain, Chicago.
Mhm.
Y'all understand my Chicago dialect.
I'm asking.
Y'all gonna be
I
lost.
was just making sure
Y'all
that
gonna
everybody
be lost. Y'all ain't gonna know what's going on.
Yeah, get it together, y'all. Trying to help y'all out. Joel.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Pick it up at the top.
Which chapter?
3rd.
Third. Verse 1.
For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Yahudah and Jerusalem, I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. And I will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage Yasharel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my
So that's the
land.
plea they talking about.
Yeah.
Right. That's different from him pleading with us. Because he said he's gonna plead with us just like he pleaded with our forefathers. So that's the same type of plea. But this pleading right here is not that it's the same type of plea. This pleading is not the pleading that you want.
Right, this is not
Right.
pleading, but this type of pleading is
Right.
like what I did back then.
Right.
Which,
But it's with us.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
He's not bringing us into the wilderness to bring wrath upon us. But these nations gathered in
Right.
Jehoshaphat, oh yeah, that's a different type of pleading right
Oh, yeah,
there.
that's
Right. All right. So, I'm glad, man. This is an eye opener. Cause I ain't gonna lie to you. I've always been under because of Matthew 24 that I need to be looking for the signs and be like,
Right.
oh man, I got it. And I think to a certain extent it might still be a little bit of that. But the Father said He's gonna gather us by the wings
I
of
think if
eagles.
we've been led by the Spirit, he said, trusting y'all with all your heart and with your own understanding, and not in all your ways acknowledge him, and he shall make straight your path. So
Right.
if we lead him by that,
Right.
then he gonna put it in us and be like, now is the time.
Right.
Because he already done sealed us, now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go back, let's
That's-
ride.
I've seen everybody. flee.
Right, let's ride,
It's
it's
time.
time to go.
He's putting it on all our eyes.
Same way he took, what's the name, Lot out of that. He pulled them out. He yanked them
instruction. What is the name of this lesson?
It's called Why Can't the World Hear or See God? So we're gonna go back to Revelation 12 chapter, finish that out.
Revelation
12,
Okay,
and just finish it out.
all right. I forgot where we left off.
I see it. It's,
14? That's the two.
Yep. That's it.
You read?
Uh-huh.
And to the woman were given two wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness, into her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and a half a time from the face of the serpent.
So if we ain't giving them two wings, we can't go nowhere. So I'm gonna get y'all great.
First class. Coach.
And the spirit cast out of his mouth, and the serpent, cast out of his mouth water as a flood after the woman, that he may cause her to be carried away of the flood. And the earth helped the woman, and the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the flood, which the dragon cast out of his mouth. And the dragon was wroth with the woman, and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of by Elohim, and have a testimony of Yahshua.
And see, that's the thing. See, that was the thing that was also confusing, because you try to wonder, okay, well, which one am I? Am I gonna be the one that's gonna be giving them two wings?
Yeah, they were like your audio went out 5 minutes ago. So
Oh, it might have still been. Okay.
where is